Yo, so what is up everybody on YouTube? We are back today with a brand new video. And for today's video, we're doing one of the most highly requested career sims on this channel. And I'm going to show a couple up on the screen real quick. And of course that would be Trae Young. One of the best prospects in the NBA, and it can shoot the absolute lights out from just about anywhere on the court. So I'm very excited to see how him and the rest of this very young Hawks squad actually ends up panning out and how many championships they can honestly end up getting. So if you guys are excited for this video, definitely be sure to smack that like button for your boy. As the like goal in this, let's go with 200. And we're always on that big road to 10K. By the end of this year, I want to hit 10K on YouTube. Last year, 1K was my big goal, and we hit it, so I'm going to put in the work. Let's hit 10K, baby. So here we go. We're about to hop into this sim and see how year one pans out. Alright, so at the end of the year one, Giannis Antetokounmpo is MVP with the Milwaukee Bucks, and honestly, no real surprise. They're not a curveball at all. Looking at the All-NBA teams, there we go. Our boy Trae Young already on the All-NBA second team, besides Damian Lillard. So, pretty solid season from Trae, 29.3 points per game, and obviously he's a super scoring machine, but it was not enough to get us into the playoffs in year one. In year two here, we have a pretty similar squad to what we had previously, and it has a lot of potential. So in year two, your MVP once again is Giannis Antetokounmpo. Let's see if Trae made any of the All-NBA teams this year, as he did fall to the All-NBA third team, but that's still obviously nothing to shake your head at. But this year, Trae did get us to the 4th seed in the Eastern Conference, which is obviously a huge deal for this young squad. So our first round matchup is, this is what the squad's looking like as far as rotations, by the way. Kind of see Trae's already up to a 93 overall, and there's his accolades so far. But we definitely want to check out who our first round matchup is up against. And in the first round of the playoffs, with Trae's first playoff appearance, it's going to be up against the Boston Celtics, Kemba Walker, Jaylen Brown, Gordon Hayward, and Jason Tatum. So we're going to see how this actually pans out, as they get an early lead on us 0-3, which is not good. And I highly doubt they're going to blow a 3-0 lead, but we will see. Crazy things have happened, as they do knock us out 4-1, so at least we get one game and do not get swept by that Boston Celtics team. Trae, really great game. Jaylen Brown also had a very good game for the Celtics. Moving into year 3 of the sim, this team is only getting older and better, as they are finally starting to progress more and more. Trae Young, once again, at a 93 overall. Definitely looking very solid. He only has 1 year left on his rookie contract, though, so it'll be interesting to see if he re-ups with the Hawks or if he actually ends up going elsewhere. These are what his badges are looking like so far. You see Kevin Huerter, DeAndre Hunter, also still the starters on this team alongside John Collins and Clint Capella. And I'm a big fan of that big 5 right there. I think that could be, honestly, a championship caliber starting 5 in these next couple of years. So in year 3, Luka Doncic MVP. Bol actually gets 6th man of the year. And let's see if Trae is on any of the All-NBA teams this year. And he does make the All-NBA second team in the guard spot. 3rd seed in the Eastern Conference, which is definitely very good. And Trae goes from a 93 to a 95 in year 3. So crazy season for Trae. RJ Barrett somehow joins the team during the season, I guess via trade. So that's going to be interesting to see as well. So we have Trae Young, RJ Barrett, DeAndre Hunter, John Collins, Clint Capella, Jordan Clarkson. We have a very, very good team here with a lot of depth on it, and a lot of guys that can score a ridiculous amount. So looking at this Wizards team we're up against in the first round, it's really just a healthy Bradley Beal and John Wall combo, and they almost actually take it from us, but we beat them in 7, thankfully. Bradley Beal having a crazy game right there, but second round of the playoffs, we meet up against Darius Garland and Colin Sexton and the Cleveland Cavaliers. And as much as I would like to say this is an easy win, we are down 3-0. I did not think that team would have enough to really bring us down, but I guess that they had enough firepower after all, as we're down 3-1 and we actually lose the series 4-1. So better luck next year as we're moving into year 4 of the sim. That was definitely a rough series right there, man. Moving into year 4, Trae is at a 94 overall. Clint Capella at an 88. John Collins also starting to get up there a little bit more overall-wise. RJ Barrett and DeAndre Hunter. All young guys, all still progressing. So let's see as far as the All-NBA team goes this year. Do we have a Trae? We do have Trae Young on the All-NBA second team. And in year 4, our boy Trae brings us to the number 1 seed in the Eastern Conference. And Trae obviously puts up an amazing stat line this year, including a double-double season. My bad, his assists were actually only 9.9, but hey, that's pretty much a double-double in my books. First round, we're going up against the New York Knicks, and we actually knock them out 4-1. Really good game from Jordan Clarkson right there to kind of carry the load. Second round, we're up against this Boston Celtics team that did knock us off in the first round, so let's keep that in mind. We beat them 4-2 this time. I was going to say it's looking good, but I didn't want to jinx us there. Trae having a really good game in Game 6 right there as we're moving on to the Eastern Conference Finals against this Cleveland Cavaliers team that did give us trouble in the past. And we bring it to 6 and we lose. That's tragic. This Cleveland Cavaliers team has our kryptonite right now as we move into year 5. Trae, 96 overall. John Collins, 89. 90 overall, Clint Capella, boys. So we're just going to see what we can do here, honestly, as I think that we really do have the team to be able to make a run. And surprisingly enough here, you actually get an MVP for Ben Simmons this year, so that's interesting. Trae, once again, making that All-NBA second team. And this year, we are the number 2 seed in the Eastern Conference. And Trae dropping 25.1 points per game this season. Definitely pretty insane, followed by RJ Barrett as far as scoring goes. First round of the playoffs, we are up against the Detroit Pistons, and we actually end up knocking them out 4-2. With Trae Young, 35-point game and 10 assists in that game, so that's obviously a pretty big game. And now in the second round, we are meeting up against the Chicago Bulls, and we don't really have any trouble with them, knocking them out 4-1. Trae, very good game once again, 32 points. Just absolutely shooting the lights out as we run into Giannis and the Knicks. I don't know why Giannis always goes to the Knicks in these sims, but he does. But somehow, we shut down Giannis Antetokounmpo, and we knock him out 4-0. A clean sweep. And here we go. The final matchup, the finals, up against the Portland Trailblazers. We are up 3-1, and we are hopping into Simcast. And as you can see, it's looking like we have this secured, as Clint Capella pretty much tries to take just about a fadeaway three-pointer, which was an absolute embarrassment of a shot if you ask me. But they cannot get anything going here because we just absolutely lock them up. So in year 5 of the sim, Trae Young and the Atlanta Hawks are your NBA champions. This is huge to get so early into Trae's young career. As you can see, everybody just going absolutely wild from the entire team. Everybody is all hyped up for this. And I'm kind of interested to see who actually ends up getting Finals MVP for this squad. I would assume it's Trae, but you never know with the amount of firepower that's on this team. And looking at the box score from this game, Trae was actually not the team's leading scorer. Surprisingly enough, kind of interesting. But let's see who was MVP, and it was Trigger Trae at a 97 overall. Not only getting his first finals win, but getting his first MVP season. So here we are moving into year 6. This squad is very much the same. And let's see if we can go back-to-back and get Trae a second NBA championship. And in year 6 here, Zion gets MVP with the Pelicans. And it was only time that happens because it seems like half of the years throughout these sims, Zion ends up as MVP. All NBA teams, Trae Young still chilling there on the second team, so no big regression there. And once again, we are the second seed in the Eastern Conference, so that is a huge win. Looking at the stats, let's see the stats real quick. Trae, another fantastic season, 25.9 points per game, and he did average a triple-double this year with 10.8 assists per game. You can see what our rotations are looking like here, and we actually added Marquise Chris and Rui Hachimura. That's kind of interesting. This team is going all out, all in on their shooting, as they added a stretch big in Marquise Chris, who can actually hit the 3-ball as well. So, first round matchup, we are up against the Detroit Pistons, and your former NBA champions get knocked out by the Detroit Pistons in an upset in the first round. I guess we just got a little too cocky, boys, but that is big tragic, as I was not expecting that at all, man. That Detroit Pistons team was not scaring me that much. But year 7, we got to move on past it. We still have Trae, we still have RJ, we still have John Collins, and we still have some other solid players, so we just got to keep on pushing, man. 97 overall, Trae Young here. Take a look at all these accolades already. RJ Barrett, like I said, John Collins, Marquise Chris, Rui Hachimura, and this year, Giannis actually gets MVP with the New York Knicks. We finished the 5 seed in the Eastern Conference this year, so definitely a little bit of a regression. But Trae, once again, having a very, very good season, followed by RJ Barrett. So who is our first round matchup this year? We're up against the Philadelphia 76ers, who are the 3 seed. Ben Simmons, Matisse Thybulle, Joel Embiid. It's going to be a hard-fought series for sure. This is a very good team, and it's getting pushed to 7. And in 7, we get knocked out by the Philadelphia 76ers. Tobias dropping 33 points on us. That sucks bad. I think if we went up against most of the other teams in the East this year, we would have probably taken it. But that Philadelphia 76ers team is a very, very well-rounded team. Moving on to year 8 here. Just keep in mind, this is still very early into this man's career, and lots of years to go here. So in year 8, this is what the squad is looking like. Giannis goes ahead and gets himself MVP once again. And this season, of course, we are the 4 seed, so we did go up a slot from last year. And RJ Barrett actually getting into the 20-point per game scoring this year with 21.4 as our second leading scorer on the team. And I think that we really have a solid squad once again. I know I keep saying this, but I do think that this team has championship potential yet again. Chicago Bulls, we're up against Kobe White, Zach LaVine, Amani Bates, Lauri Markkanen. This is low-key a bomb squad here. I wouldn't be as scared if they didn't add Amani Bates to the squad, but with the addition of him, I don't really like this matchup at all. So we're going to have to see what happens, but I'm pretty scared as we are down 3-0, and we do get a game at least, so we're not getting swept in this series. But we do get knocked out 4-1, which definitely sucks. But that was a very, very good team. I wouldn't be surprised if they actually went on to win the finals this year, because Amani Bates is a bucket getter in himself. Despite Trae Young dropping over a 40-piece in that game, we still could not win. Moving into year 9 of the sim, it is now 2027. Definitely interesting to see. So let's see what the squad's looking like, and we will see if it kind of improved or whatever. So Trae Young, 98 overall. John Collins sitting at a 92 overall. We need an upgrade at that 3 really bad, as we have a starter that's a 74 overall at our small forward position. And yet again, Giannis gets MVP with the New York Knicks. Let's see if Trae made any of the All-NBA teams this year. Definitely want to see that, as Trae did make the All-NBA 3rd team in the 2nd guard spot, so that is a very, very good season. But we did miss the playoffs, which sucks. Trae, 98 overall, averaging 25.1 points per game. And I know that now we have Buddy Hield and Kevin Huerter splitting that time at the 2, at least we did last year. The team kind of changed up a little this year. So I think that honestly a big hit for that team last year that made us not make playoffs was we don't have RJ Barrett anymore. And I think that he was a very big part of this team, as Chet actually goes ahead and gets MVP this season. And we make the playoffs as, I believe, the 7th seed in the East, which is definitely better than missing playoffs, don't get me wrong, but I would like to see that seeding actually go up. Trae, once again, a very good season. Our 2 guard putting up 20 points per game, so I guess he's kind of filling that role that we had with RJ Barrett, which is definitely nice to see. And we're up against the Boston Celtics in the first round, who have given us trouble in the past. It's going to Game 7, and we actually do step up and knock them out, with Trae dropping 44 points on their heads, so that he's obviously just carried us to that win. But we're up against this Cleveland Cavaliers squad in the 2nd round that has also given us a lot of troubles in the past. So hopefully we can make it past them, as we're up 3-2, 3-3, and we just blew a 4-2 We blew a 3-1 lead, which was a big yikes. Oh, wow. I was not expecting that one. That one hurt. John Collins is still hanging around. Kevin Huerter still hanging around. Marquise Chris still hanging around. And, of course, Trae himself at a 98 overall still. We need something here. Luka Doncic goes ahead and gets MVP. Still with the Dallas Mavericks, so I like the loyalty there. As Trae is still with the Hawks as well. You love seeing when a player is loyal like this in real life. Second All-NBA team next to Ben Simmons for Trae. And looking at the standings this year, did we make playoffs? And we did. Once again, the 7th seed in the Eastern Conference. Really want to get that seeding up, but I guess it's better than nothing. 27.8 points per game for Trae this season, which is kind of insane if you really think about it. That is a huge season. Who was our first round matchup? Our first round matchup, we are looking at a matchup up against the Toronto Raptors and Michael Porter Jr. So this should be a difficult series, but we win 4-2. Trae dropping a 38 bomb. Definitely helping us win that series a ton, and he has been carrying us throughout all these playoff series in general. As we're up against Giannis and the Knicks, and they knock us out 4-0. That's big tough. As Trae really couldn't do all that much, only dropping 17, as Giannis had put up a stat line of 34 and 19 rebounds. So when there's a stat line like that coming from a star, it's kind of hard, especially when they have the athleticism and the size that Giannis Antetokounmpo has. And who's guarding him? Probably John Collins. I don't know if John Collins can really keep up with Giannis like that. So obviously Trae, 98 overall this season. About 2 or 3 years left on his contract, I believe 2. See all of his accolades. Chet gets MVP yet again. Giannis gets Defensive Player of the Year. We do make playoffs, squeaking in there once again. 23.7 points per game for Trae Young. And our first round matchup is up against the Orlando Magic this year with Markelle Fultz, Brandon Clark, and Mo Bamba. So, not looking great as we actually are down 3-1. And hopefully we can pull it together. We get a game 3-2. Let's at least push it to 7. And we cannot. We get knocked out in 6 games, 4-2. Trae, 35 piece, but could not get it done. Year 13, Trae Young, 98 overall, and our boy John Collins is also chilling in the 90s. Still have Marquise Chris, we still have Kevin Huerter. Chet, once again, MVP season with now the Dallas Mavericks, so that's kind of interesting, him and Luka playing together. And in that last season, I did not show it because it was just an embarrassment. We got a really low amount of wins. And there wasn't anything like insane about Trae's stat line, so I just kind of skipped over it and went right into year 14 instead. So in year 14, this is what our squad is looking like. John Collins still hanging around at a 90 overall, and Trae still pretty high overall-wise. Amani Bates gets MVP. Is Trae on any of the All-NBA teams? And he actually misses all of them this year, surprisingly. Looking at the standings, let's see where we end up, where we fell. As well, that is tragic. We only get about 20 wins this season, finishing as the worst team in the Eastern Conference, despite a 24.3 point per game scorer in Trae Young. Moving into year 15, I really hope things start to get better towards the end of this career for Trae. He's still a very high overall, but the team's just not getting the wins. It's not translating. He got that one big championship, and now we can't really do much. As Paul Campbell gets the MVP for the Boston Celtics, not really sure who that is. Very well might be just a creative player. Looking at the standings, we are not the worst team, but we are the second to worst team in the Eastern Conference. Wow. Trae putting up 20.1 points per game, starting to hit that regression a little, it's looking like. Although he's a 95, I could see it hitting him hard in these next couple years. Year 16 of Trae's career. Let's see what we got going in year 16 of Trae's career here. So what's the squad looking like and what's his overall? 92, starting to hit that wall. Down 3 overall points from last year. We still have John Collins, but he is now down to an 81 overall. And it really says something because he is our third best player on this team at an 81 overall. So Paul Campbell, back-to-back MVP seasons for, I guess, that guy. I don't really know much about him. And yet again, the worst team in the Eastern Conference. Trae putting up just over 20 points per game. And moving into year 17, man, this end of Trae's career here has really been a bummer, guys. 90 overall. We'll see what he can do. This team is not looking too hot at all. This is not anything like Zion's career went, man. Zion's career was a lot more interesting for us. Paul Campbell has got 3 back-to-back MVP seasons, so whoever he is a certified bucket getter, I guess. Second to worst team in the Eastern Conference. And if you guys did not already see Zion's video, make sure to see that. That was the last sim I put out. And his was an absolutely incredible career. Moving into year 18, Trae, 85 overall. Hitting that regression wall real hard. In about 4 years, or 3 years, he went from a 98 to an 85. So we'll see what happened this year. Trae obviously not making any of the All-NBA teams at this point in his career. Check out the league standings. Maybe we snuck in. We did not, but we actually are a little bit better than we've been in the last couple of years, so I guess that's a positive. Trae putting up under 20 points per game for the first time in a long time. I don't know if that even was a thing at all. So, moving into year 19, Trae is still on the Hawks. I thought he maybe got traded, but he did not. He's just coming off the bench for them, actually, as a role player now at an 82 overall. Kind of a pretty loyal move for Trae to stay here. Looking at the end of the playoffs in this year, nothing really crazy happened. That I couldn't find Trae as far as everything goes. And when we're looking at player retirements, they actually must have traded Trae to the Magic at the trade deadline, which is kind of a scumbag move by the Hawks, in my opinion. Especially since Trae gave his entire career to the city of Atlanta in this. But looking at the standings, I want to kind of see where the Magic ended up and see if they were maybe a playoff team. They were not. Also, one of the worst teams in the Eastern Conference. But we'll check out what his stats were like in his final season playing, because of course I need to show you guys that. So, look at the player stats real quick for the Orlando Magic. And Trae, 12.4 points per game and an 81 overall. So, at least he got some playing time in his final season. But Trae had an incredible career, just not translating as much to winning as we might have hoped. And let's look at the Hall of Fame inductees, because I'm sure his stats got him there. Let's take a look. Trae, Luka, and DeAndre Ayton all being inducted into the Hall of Fame in this season. So we're going to look at the records and kind of see where Trae fell all time as far as everything goes, because I know you guys like me to show you guys this. So Trae Young, 7th overall as far as total points go. 3-pointers made, number 1 overall. Number 1, above Luka, above Steph Curry, above all of them. Free throws made, I don't know if he's going to be on there, but he surely should be on the assist one at some point right there, number 5. So those are probably some of the big ones that he would be on the list for, and I'll just go through and kind of show you guys, and I'll show you as far as his team stats go, the team records for the Hawks go as well, and where Trae fell with that. So, if you guys enjoyed this video, please be sure to hit that like button. If you made it this far throughout the video, like always, comment GOAT in all capitals so I know who the real loyals of this channel are. And of course, I will respond to your comment and give you a heart and all. Let me know who to do next down in the comment section below. I hope you guys have a fantastic day. Stay safe. Peace.